Okay, so
Are we actually on?
hopefully we're back.
Okay. Are we back on?
Okay.
Okay.
So we're waiting for our video stream to catch up here live with us. All right, there we go. So we are back. Hopefully you can hear us better. If you can hear us, go ahead and type on the chat. Let us know that it sounds okay. Apparently one of our cameras was set to be our default microphone, which is like halfway across the room there, versus what we're at here. So much better.
Okay.
Yay! Okay, we're on. So
We are sorry for that.
let's just go ahead and just
Should we recap?
just recap the. We'll just recap
The major changes.
well, I was going to talk about the contest.
Oh, the contest. Yes, we should do that.
So what we'll talk about here is, in case you couldn't hear us before, we have a contest up on our website, counterslam.com, and we have a contest called Battle the Crew. And during Gen Con, on the Sunday of Gen Con, which is August 18th, one lucky viewer, which we'll select on August 4th, will actually play us in our studios live. So it could be you. You can sign up on the website there and enter to win. It'll be random as to who wins. You can choose if you want to play 50 points or 35 points, and you get to select the host that you want to play against. So if you want to smack around Jeremy, or you want a good challenge, you take on Jason, or if you just
To stare at a pretty girl.
yeah, you can stare at Joyce, or you can if you want a sympathy vote, you can vote for me or Jose, and we'll play against you too. So we appreciate the vote.
Jose has a really pretty army.
He does have a
They're
pretty army.
fabulous.
Yep.
They're nice to look at across the table. I still can't actually think of a good reason to play you. Oh, wait, you could make him play Gators and then just kind of get an auto win.
No, I get to choose. No, you choose me. I get to choose what army I'm playing. But
Ah.
that would not be cool.
That'd be amazing.
I want to stomp Gators live. Woo! So
I don't play trolls at 35 points, so just saying.
You've been warned.
so you better like taking on the galleon at that
Troll
point.
players don't like to play at 35 points because trolls don't do well at 35 points.
Yeah,
That's
Legion doesn't do
correct.
very well at 35 points either. So if you pick me, you're probably going against Crix as well. So. But yeah,
What are you looking at me for?
maybe one day we'll have the guy who gives us the terrain to play with us on the show one time. His name is Dave. He's really cool.
Dave of Dave's
I
World.
was teaching him how to play over the weekend, so we'll see if
How did
teach
he
him
do?
how to
He has like-
he killed me.
He has a
absolutely murdered
metric
me.
ton
Really?
of
Yeah,
circle
but
models.
the list I gave him though to teach him how to play was like Venethrax and Bane Thralls and Tartarus versus like P-Vale and two beasts and like Legionnaires. So after I set up the armies, I was like, I could have picked my side a little better, and his probably not quite so good. But
And now he's hooked, right? First one's free?
yeah, he
Yeah,
really
first
enjoyed
one is
playing.
free.
And he owns a ton of models because he bought them all for Dungeons and Dragons, and he's got tons of models. He has almost all the faction decks. So now he's going through his cards to see which faction, like what abilities he likes and which faction he wants to play. Although I would put money he's going to pick Menoth or Crix. Those are the two that, just his personality-wise, that I could see that.
Menoth is
Oh, but
great.
good. That's what we need more of in the world. More Menoth or Crix. These are things.
We don't have enough.
Hey, we've been dropping Menoth players.
Our attorney
Shut
was
up,
half
Jose.
Crix, half Minoff, it felt like.
Yeah.
It was half Crix, half Menoth.
Well,
Menoth players.
And 2 Crix players.
Out of
That's half the contestants.
2 Legion players.
2
One for
Legion
Legion.
players, 2 Circle players.
Okay. Yeah, that's
2,
true.
uh,
But
2
one of
Sworn
them
players.
far more experienced than the other.
Well, real quick, just to recap the tourney, just real fast before we get into the Journeyman caster, because I want to get into these before we play. So,
That's what I played.
yes. So the game that everybody kind of left off on when we were talking about was you and I were going to play, and we were playing for who's going to play the final game. And so if you guys want to see who we were playing, I was playing Legion, he was playing Trolls. You knew he was taking E-Grim. Who would you have assumed won?
Tough choice. I don't know.
Well, thanks for the vote of comments, guys. No,
The E-Grim list.
we played. It was I thought it was a fantastic game. Yes, Jason did win. He got me. I made a horrible mistake, and he actually pointed out as soon as I made it. He goes, "You just lost," and I was like, "I don't know. No, we'll play it out." And yeah, I lost. When I moved, I charged one of his trolls with my caster, killed it. Shot something else, killed that, and then I forgot to pop Wind Wall to get Pinker protected against his feet turn, Grimm's feet turn, who could just murder everything on the table.
Kind of turns out that if you don't have the ability to stop your huge based caster from getting shots, that
Yeah, it's a bad thing
Speed turns
apparently.
kind
What
of
the
a
heck?
good thing
And
against you.
one thing that was nice was that the damage rolls that you were rolling were pretty bad at first, and it really came down to like his last couple models to really beat her.
It was the last one. I rolled one shot on the Blitzer, which made me
One
upset.
shot.
And then one of the bomber boosted rolls was really low. So
Yeah, and then the first one was amazing. It was like 17 points of damage. He was gonna like kill her in
Right.
one shot, but I had the transfer lift, and I transferred to my Arcane.
you had what, two transfers?
Two transfers,
Yeah.
and managed to get it, and then he just absolutely annihilated me. It was bad. But they were at the end. I was so hoping that troll was going to miss at the end, and I was like, I might be able to pull this off. I was so hoping that he killed. I was just like, oh, it was so close. But so you got to move on, and you got to take on Corey. The other guy who was playing Retribution, his army got stolen from his car, and he was kind of competing against me for third and fourth. But so he ended up not being able to play. But then you took on Corey, who then advanced. And how did that game go? Well, if you guys would vote, Corey was the one that beat you, right?
Yeah.
Corey, and then and you guys. Okay, so he beat you too. And he's a pretty experienced Menoth player. So
No.
Aww.
sucker.
I'm sad.
I don't know, who would you guys put money on? I guess on that, knowing his Epic Grim experience and
That's a really
No.
tough pick because Corey is a really, really good player. So I mean, I really.
You know-
Well, I won't be
was
a fan. I
rooting
won't
for
be a
you.
fan.
I'd still put money on you. I really would have.
You didn't run P Grim at all during the tourney, did you?
Pegrin,
You didn't run anything but
Pegrin.
Grim the whole time.
I figured he got me there.
yeah, I thought I probably would have put my money on Corey, honestly.
Trolls versus Menoth. It's hard to
Yeah.
pick Trolls. I lost by death clock.
I have faith in you,
Aw.
buddy. These guys are not your friends. I'm your friend.
So you lost by death clock. How did you do before the death clock? Did you feel like you were doing good?
I felt like I was doing really good. He played his pop and drop list, P. Krios, Redeemer, which is what I wanted because the Chronicler putting Tales of Mist on the Warlock unit essentially neuters his feet turn against my lock. He also, and if you don't know what that means, Tales of Mist gives a unit feign death, which says if they're knocked down, they can't be targeted by ranged attacks. So,
That is terrible.
And I'm like, oh, thanks for giving me feign death. So, and he used it to good effect to clean up some of my beasts out there. And he made a mistake at the beginning of activating his zealots, which were over to the side, and we were trying to avoid being death clocked, and so I felt like I was in a really good position the whole time, and I took out everything, and he just put Defender's Ward on his caster and camped, and I had at that stage with both my heavies were gone, I had a really hard time dealing with that sort of armor
Wow.
and defense, and I kind of felt that if I had just went for scenario instead of doing my usual assassination.
25 armor.
Right. Yeah.
Base
It was up
He's
there.
base 16.
14, 16,
Yeah,
so
so
he's
plus
16,
2 defensive armor,
18
so it gets,
can.
yeah.
Right,
so
right.
18 and then 7 focus, so yeah.
Yeah.
Ouch.
Yeah, so armor 25. That's in there like,
Turns out casters have a hard time puncturing that kind of armor, regardless of who you are.
And this is why casters don't get to contest zones anymore.
Right.
Just for shit like that.
And he was kind of upset because I was rolling a lot of tough rolls. And I kind of felt that, I forget,
You made a lot of tough rolls against me too in that game we played.
well, I forget the scenario, but because his zealots didn't run up, I kind of felt that if I had just went for scenario and ran Grim to dominate my
Yeah,
flag,
the 2 flags. It's the one we're
and
going to play
just
today.
put my Fin Blades and Burrowers up there just to keep him back, and because he didn't activate his zealots, if I went for scenario instead of assassination, it might, I'm not saying that, nothing to take away from Corey. Corey played a great game. I should have played it for scenario instead of assassination, but good game.
Yeah, I watched most of that game. That was a really solid
I wish I could have stuck around and was able to see it. I had a family event I had to go to, but I really wanted to watch that game so bad.
That was a good one. You missed out.
So, anyway,
I was
but
paying
that was
for
pretty good. I felt pretty strongly about how it turned out. I managed to get a win off with P-Vale and Rias in that tournament, so I was pretty happy too.
Hey, you assassinated Fatty McButterpants with Riot.
Fatty
Good job.
McButterpants. I miss Fatty McButterpants. Hopefully we'll see him again soon.
Maybe sooner than you think.
Yeah. So.
My Mountain Dew spill.
All right. Well,
Eating Cheetos and drinking
so
Mountain
so then I guess.
Kill that.
All right. Hold on, real quick before we get into the juicy topic. We can go ahead and does it, the other three of us still made it through the rest of the tournament. Where did we all end up? Where did you end up?
Well, I didn't get to play the last game, unfortunately, because
Oh,
I was
so-
gone. So I think
So you didn't place?
if they would have placed, naturally the guy who had to bail because his army got stolen, if I would have been playing him, I would have automatically taken third. But they ended up bringing Dom on, the guy that you played last week, and since I had to bail against him, technically I got fourth,
Okay.
win-wise.
I got really lazy and ceded my last game to Conrad. We then played a game for fun and I beat him. so yeah, I lost the game that I won. I'm super pro. And I ended up in second place. And Joyce, where did you get?
Kind of the same. I just kind of folded, and then I contacted, Brad, and then I was just like, hey, do you still want to play like 35 points? I'm going to slide back to what I'm comfortable with. And he was like, sure. And that was fun, and I could have seen that I would have won, because I was going to do this whole run up there, tap his Warcaster, and then send him back to my Blood Witches, and then beat the crap out of him. But then Conrad was just like, hey, you should do it like this. I'm like, how often do I get to run up and smack things? I might as well, I don't care if I win or lose. And well, I definitely lost.
Oh.
Yeah, no, it was pretty bad. So she's got this great plan. She doesn't tell anybody what it is though, but she's got this plan. And she's like, I'm going to start doing things for this. And Conrad's like, wait, no, you should do this. You should walk up and do a two-handed throw. And she's like, okay, I guess. And she walks up and does a two-handed throw. She lands the hit, and she doesn't break strength, so it fails.
Oh,
and
wow.
she just sort of dies.
I know how
And
that
then,
feels.
The really funny thing was, right after that, she was like, oh, but you know what I was thinking of doing instead of that? I was thinking I could just walk up there and hit his Warcaster and teleport him into the middle of the Blood Witches because they have gang. And Conrad's like, oh my god, that's a great idea. You should have done that.
She can do that? Yeah, I knew she could do that. I got Harbinger up there a little too close.
Oh, yeah.
It's just like,
That was
what just happened? And the nightmare just,
Oh, and you're right next to the race engine with Dr. Armor by 2. Yeah, Nightmare's like, yummy. Yeah, it turns out when Harbinger is the prey target, too, that doesn't really help a whole
No,
lot, so-
definitely didn't help me too much.
Yeah, combo striking, like, wow.
I think it took like, what, 2 hits? And
Yeah,
was
that's
it.
it.
Like, on the combo strike against his prey target, he's like power and strength 23 or something stupid.
It's 20, it's something ridiculous. It's at least 22.
Outrageous. It's
least-
it's something
at least-
outrageous
Oh,
enough
it's
that
a
you one-shot
24.
Getters
20
once.
It's 20,
Yeah.
24.
And I was,
24.
Yeah, I was even camping, and I was at armor like 21. And armor
It still takes
23.
20. Technically, with Darkshot, it would have been almost like a 26.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, he's
Dice
Nightmare's
plus 5.
I love Nightmare. He's my favorite Jack by far, and I think he's going to do awesome with our Journeyman caster, which we're going to get into here in a minute. So, I don't know, does anybody else want to talk about anything before else we hop into this?
Now let's go.
All right, let's do this. Okay, so we're going to go throw up the pictures of the models here as we talk about them.
We gotta just go through
Yeah,
them in
just
order.
go through in order that we got here. So first one's going to be Lieutenant Allison Jakes, the Signar.
So the first comment I want to make about her is that the model that they've shown for her looks amazing.
Yeah,
it
they did a
is
good job with the
flipping
sculpt.
fantastic. I love the pose she's in with her 2 big old swords. I'll stab you in the face. It's gonna be terrible.
So she's got, her stats are pretty solid, pretty, I would say kind of average, not outstanding
they
stats.
seem average until you remember that she's a 3-point model that has focus.
Yes.
And then that whole Mat 6, Rat 5 is actually really good.
Yeah, well, I was thinking in comparison to all the other ones, she's decent. She's
Pretty
not
good.
a.
I really like her. She's got 2 melee attacks, which is decent if she ever has to get in there. But what's really nice about her is that she's got the hand cannon.
Mhm.
And that just makes her really good for 3 points. Like, you don't even have to take a jack with her, and she's probably still going to be solid.
She's got.
Just a forcible hand cannon. It's pretty good.
She's got parry and sprint, which is nice. So she can not ever be targeted by free strikes, and when she kills something, she can run back.
Mhm.
She's got Energizer, which helps to move her jacks up and her spells.
And, yeah, I'm sure there's a whole lot of ways you can use things like that, right? Like, what was it? She had, like, a 3-point model that can that has focus. Yeah, and then that whole 3-point model that can that has focus. And, yeah, I'm sure there's a whole lot of ways you can use things like that, right? Like, what was it? She had, like, a 3-point model that can that has focus. Yeah, and then that whole 3-point model that can that has focus. Oh man, I wish I knew Signar Jax a little better, but I know they got, what is it, like a Defender or something like that? He's got a pretty solid gun on him, so you can use Energizer to kind of move him into a better spot, and then have him,
Hunters.
or Hunters,
So you can
also
do
good with
2
Hunters.
hunters.
Just have them move into a slightly better, anything with a good gun, just have it move into a better spot with Energizer, and then bam, take its aim shot.
So it does get its aiming bonus.
Right, because it's
with
not
Energizer.
moving during its normal activation.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You can also give it sidekick.
Yeah, that would be the best because those.
I think Sidekick's mostly there to protect her, although there's nothing really wrong with Sidekick. Like, Sidekick on
Can be
a
knocked down.
Centurion
You run a Cyclops.
would be
crew.
really annoying.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think the Light Jacks or Signar already have a decent defense.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
I know Signar has a
Like
light jack that
12.
actually has set
Yeah.
defense. So throw Sidekick on the guy on the light jack with set defense and have her stand behind it.
Like defense 17.
And then he's just
like
defense
that.
17 against the Shark. You're just like, I don't wanna. It's dumb.
Yeah. Well, I did notice that one of the things you could do is, it doesn't protect the jack from slams and things being placed and pushed, things like that. It can still be thrown, which is something that it doesn't stop. So I mean, if you can get in close and you can double hand throw the jack.
Oh, that's really funny. I
That's
didn't
one way to
actually
get
notice
mine.
that.
Yeah.
But you can totally still throw it.
I play Gators. Trust me, I notice things like that. So,
That's pretty good.
Well, no, for
So
3
what
points,
you're
4
really
focus,
saying is
2 magical weapons.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, that's pretty good. Now, although the damage on
I
the
know
weapons
players
isn't
take that
super
for
great.
granted too often. They're like,
Ah.
so there's stuff in the game without magical weapons?
yeah, wow. I play trolls.
Nice, I don't know. PAL 10 boostable magical weapons really good on a 3-point solo.
With, charge
With-
of a pistol wraith.
Who
sprint back
has
to safety.
sprint and parry?
Yeah.
That's totally solid.
I think
Now, if
that's
she only had assault.
she.
Oh my god, that'd be terrible. That'd be like the worst thing ever.
It sounds like they're trying to make Allison Jakes to be sort of like one of the main characters in the War Machine storyline.
Well, yeah, if you actually watch the Kickstarter video, they say at the end of it she's going to be a full warcaster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's you were talking about that earlier about how they're possibly
There
gonna
seems to be
making-
a really good chance that all of these journeyman warcasters become real warcasters in the not too distant future. And actually, I gotta say, I really like the whole design philosophy they're kind of taking with these things because first of all these journeymen are there specifically to encourage the running of jacks. And I know that a lot of War Machine players complain about the fact that they got into this game for big stompy robots, and War Machine doesn't run big stompy robots super well all the time. But now they're all getting new journeyman warcasters that can all run jacks, and they all are just for that because their thing is your battle group. So I really like that, and I also really like how they're introducing them as character journeymen that have the potential to become real warcasters. Because think about it, if they really wanted to, they could make 4 different versions of Jakes. They could make the journeyman Jakes, they could make regular warcaster Jakes, epic Jakes, and legendary Jakes. They have the potential to make a whole bunch of this one character. Now, are they going to do that? Not necessarily, but the room is there, and I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's pretty neat. It definitely gives them a lot more room, a chance to expand based on this. And I think, based on the character's fluff, especially when we get to the caster for Crix and Signar, this storyline could be so cool for these guys.
You know what's really funny though? I think that Jakes and the new caster, just getting spoiled at all, kind of horribly spoils the story for the game because you totally know
Yeah,
at
I
least
know.
one of the big things that's
Yeah,
gonna happen.
big shock.
Oh, the fact that Sturgis.
Yeah,
Right.
I
So
just-
like Sturgis is her mentor, and Sturgis dies and becomes Crix. Gee, I wonder what's going to be the driving motivation for this character throughout that game.
What's funny is they a lot of people have been kind of toying around the idea that these Private Press might be working on a War Machine movie, and I could see these guys being the main characters of the movie
that
because
could be
they'll
cool.
start to grow and you'll start to expand on them. But yeah, it's not going to be M. Night Shyamalan like directing it because we already know the twist at the end, which is what happens to Sturgis.
Oh snap!
That was good. That was
Yeah,
really good.
so sorry, M. Night. In case you were hoping to direct this movie, it's probably not going to happen now.
All right, so before we go into the next guy, I want to say something else. So, looking at all of these, my personal opinion is that Jakes is probably the one that's least good at running jacks and just the best at actually being a super solo. And then we move into the next guy, and I think he's the exact opposite. I think he's the least good at being a super solo and just the best at running jacks because he exists in Menoth.
So the next guy is the initiate Tristan Durant from the Protectorates, and yeah, he's
Interesting.
interesting. I'll admit he's my least favorite of all of them.
What is your favorite part about him, Jose?
My favorite part is that he has true sight with no ranged attack.
And what is the range on his spell?
8 inches. I'm
Oh.
an extra 3 inches.
Gee, that seems really good.
Poor Jose.
Yeah, he's not doing anything that's, that looks
He's
all
on
that
speed
for me.
5 too.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, I didn't even notice that. Yeah, why is he so slow?
Because it's Minnow. They're all
They're all slow.
Yeah, they're all slow.
You know what, though?
He's going to be, that's what he's going to be run with. He's going to be run with my brick list. And I've been looking into wanting to start learning how to run High Reclaimer and Testament and Amon Raza. And I think that he would be great for all of those.
Well, he gives his
Well,
battle.
maybe not Amon.
I really think you're right because his thing is a battle group wide spell of 2 armor.
Yeah.
And that totally seems like what he should be doing. Is just bricking stuff.
And he also has that same ability like Jake's has, where any friendly model base to base that's affected by
Right.
Fortify can't be knocked down, pushed, whatever. But again, it doesn't affect against throws. So.
Right, so if you want to kill this bastard, go pick up one of the jacks that's standing right in front of him and throw it at him.
Defense 10, come on.
There's a
Unless
lot.
you're doing it with an Archangel, then it's just not going to happen. But
There's a lot of focus efficient Minoth jacks out there. You could easily run a Vanquisher with this
Right.
guy.
Mhm.
2 focus, that's all it needs. Reckoner.
Because I'm pretty sure that what Manoth was really lacking, and I'm sure that every Manoth player will totally agree with me here, the thing they really needed was just 4 more focus for their jacks every turn. Because,
Yeah.
like they just have so much trouble making their jacks do anything.
I know,
right?
what's that song in the background? Oh, that's the choir. Never mind. I'm sorry.
Hi-
Can't hear over the sound of the choir.
High Reclaimer and Amon Adraza like this guy, I think.
Well, yeah. I'd say I wasn't sure how he'd do on Amon Raza because Amon Raza is all about his battle group.
Right, but synergy only affects melee, so this guy could be a good range support piece, maybe a Redeemer or
Fair
something
enough.
like that.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Wow.
I wondered about the Redeemer. Well, yeah, I guess the Redeemer would be good. I was thinking of the Jack marshalling rules.
At 14-15, he's not getting anywhere near the fight.
Yeah.
So he could easily take his, upkeep, fortify, and then throw 3 focus on a Redeemer. Done.
Oh yeah, that's why I wanted to put him on the High Reclaimer list and just merge him up there behind his cloud effects, and that way, like I said, if I put the Revenger, I get a light jack up to armor 21, I get the repel,
Yeah.
so yeah, he's still going to do some damage up there, but he's just got to be bricked up.
He's also got Blessed on his
A
weapon.
blessed reach weapon with Mat 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Power Power and Strength 11.
Yeah, he's
Not great, but it's
I think
Blessed
the
is
turn
nice.
he charges anybody with that weapon is the turn that he
a-
dies.
It's the 4 focus caster with offensive spells that I just don't get.
Well,
it's like you have
actually-
to. They might as well just make every spell cost 3.
I kind of liked that design decision with them too. It's sort of amusing, really, but they're all, it's like, well, we've all got a battle group spell, and then we all have an offensive nuke.
Yeah.
It's like, and our offensive nuke is not going to be useful terribly often because we're 4 focus casters, but sometimes it will be.
Occasionally you'll roll high.
Right, occasionally you'll roll high. Right, well, you know what,
And there's
sometimes...
no AoE, so there's no deviation.
He has a crit fire on it. There may be some occasion where you're like, well, I don't care about that guy living anymore, but dear God, I desperately need that thing to be on fire, so I'm going to boost this at it, and hope to God I light it on fire.
Yeah.
Just screw it, give him Ash to Ashes, spend all 4 focus on more stuff.
Okay, so this next guy then.
All right, so let's move on
This
to
next
Let's
guy,
move on to somebody who actually
I think
looks good.
he may be my favorite one overall just because of what he offers
What does it do?
to his faction.
It's too pretty.
And first off, his artwork, he just looks like a total douchebag. Which is, it's a good thing because he's in the right faction for douchebaggery because Khador's just full of douchebags.
Well,
Wow.
I love all you Khador players out there, but you gotta admit, storyline wise,
I hope Conrad.
storyline wise, all your casters are just douches.
all right, so we're moving on to Kovnik Andrei Malikov, and yeah, his stats are a bit better than the
Okay,
the
well,
Menoth
so
guy.
like Jake's hand cannon,
Yes.
so he's got the standard, he's got the standard Khador Rat 4, but he can boost it, so whatever. His melee's not terribly impressive, but it is still another magical weapon. He's got a couple of really impressive things about him. One is Sucker.
Sucker is not that great.
In a faction with as many warrior models as Khador tends to take, Sucker is pretty solid.
Yeah, I could see it.
It's a great way to keep this guy alive since he doesn't have stealth.
I was shocked at his low armor score though, only 13.
That is a little weird for Khador.
Yeah, I was honestly expecting like 17 or 16 at least.
Okay, so you're not terribly impressed by Sucker, but let's move on to the other thing that he's got. Red line.
Red line is all.
Red line in
amazing.
Khador.
Pretty
This spell is amazing. This spell gives Khador everything they want at a cost that they are all too willing to
So,
pay.
so for two focus, it says target warjack in this model's battle group gains +2 strength and speed,
some upkeep.
and can run, charge, or make power attacks, slams, or tramples without spending focus. When it ends its activation, it suffers D3 points of damage.
Okay, so-
I'm so glad they added that little D3
So what's
points
the,
of
so
damage.
the really terrible thing that all Khador Warjacks have is that they're speed 4. So they desperately need to have that +2 speed. The other thing that they have not really going for them is they're not terribly fury or focus efficient in general. Now they get to charge for free. Super good. What is one of the things that Khador Warjacks are really, really good at? Smashing the crap out of stuff with melee weapons. So an extra 2 strength. So they're just that much better at it.
Yeah.
And what, they've all got like 30, 35 health? Oh no, D3 damage
I
out of
know.
my 35 hit points.
I'm gonna make sure that person rolls D3 every turn.
Yeah, maybe this guy will make it to where Khador players actually field more than one warjack.
I think that's his whole point. I think he exists because Khador casters never want to give out their focus, and here's a guy with an awesome upkeep spell that makes Jax good in combat, and he's got 3 extra focus to spare every turn.
Him being as squishy as though is gonna be a really big problem, I think.
Well, throw him out like missiles.
Kodiak.
You know what? You could take something really simple like you could take something like a Spriggan. Spriggan with him is pretty good. Throw a Spriggan out, have it kick the crap out of something. Or if you just want to use something that's like a disposable missile, just like attach a Berserker to him. Just attach a Berserker to him, have him stand, somewhere far in the back, throw that Berserker out there with all 3 focus, and it will beat the living crap out of something. And if it doesn't explode, well, good. If it does explode, well, whatever. Who cares?
Yeah, and then he's got
He has to be within 8 inches during allocation.
Right, just to allocate. He doesn't have to stay.
the
Right.
the sucker will definitely come into play when he starts taking shots, which will be nice. But if
No,
you
I
get up
think
in melee on him, it's gonna be
This guy's
tough.
really good, and I think this guy's just exactly what Khador really needed, because they needed something to sort of change up their game plan, and I think that he offers them that.
His only problem is that he's a character.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. it's-
That
I was
is sort
just
of
thinking the
a
exact
bummer.
same thing. It's like, this is a field allowance of 1, right?
So
Right. So, and you take him in a tournament, you're only going to be able to put him in 1 list. And that
yeah,
kind of sucks.
Blade of, and he's got the Razor Wind, which
Oh,
is,
Razor Wind's hilarious.
It's a
I
POW
love,
12.
I love that. That's like every Khador caster ever has this spell. It's like the very first spell that any one of them learns when they start going through whatever their academy they go through. It's like, hey, you're a Khador caster now. Learn Razor Wind.
But in 5 years, when they make him a fully fledged warlock, and maybe he'll keep red line,
Oh, he's going to be such a good Jack caster if he becomes a real warlock. He really will be.
or Privateer Press really does hate Khador, and they
he dies in the fluff. He just doesn't even come out with any additional.
Oh, that'd be terrible. Well, I'm pulling for you, Khador. I'm hoping that doesn't happen, that he becomes an awesome warlock caster.
Definitely a good addition, I would say, to the army. Very good.
Yeah.
Definitely giving them some stuff that they lack. Which takes us to our next journeyman caster, which is
Right.
Iacos Scourge
So
of
while
Radius.
the Khador caster offers something that that the faction was lacking, I guess you could sort of say the same thing about this bastard. but he also
not
just
horseshit.
gives Crix a whole lot of things that Crix just doesn't need more of.
Yeah. Well, I must say I'm happy with my journeyman caster.
Oh really?
Yes,
This is my
I
shock
do
face.
like. I
Right here.
do
Everyone,
like.
can you see the shock?
No, you
Right.
can't because we don't have you on the screen right now. But
Oh, okay, get me on the screen so they
You
can
can
see,
imagine
see
it.
the shock face.
Just
Shock?
imagine his shock face. Wait. Oh, now it's on you. Do your shock face.
Shock right here. This is the shock face. Oh no.
So, all right. So, Iacos.
Yeah, there's a lot of discussion about how to say that.
Iacos? Yeah, there's no
You know
pronunciation.
what the best part about this
I'm
game
gonna say
is?
Iacos.
It's all made up, so it doesn't really matter.
Well, you hear the arguments between Khador and Khador and things like that, but
No, it's Khador.
It is
They've
Khador,
actually said that.
yes, I've
I
heard
don't know. Nobody's.
it's in the back of their rule book. It tells you how to pronounce it. Yes.
Scourge of Meridius, though.
So-
He's got a cool name,
It's pronounced Saruman.
and super awesome thing. He looks like a predator.
Yes.
Come on, he's a predator.
He's an awesome. He looks like an awesome mix, literally between the pirates and the Banes. I love the way that he looks. I think they did a great job of so that when no matter which army you take him in, he looks like he fits.
Why can't
his artwork reminds me of the Marauder from the Warhammer game.
this guy be in circle?
Yeah.
That would just make me really happy.
But half the things in Crix be in circle.
Yeah.
Because then circle would be outrageously.
So,
stupid. But I don't
the
think
guy-
this would break circle.
He has stealth built in, shock, but I like the fact he has stealth.
Actually, I think that might make him the most survivable of these dudes, just because he has it naturally. That's
he,
really handy.
He has jump, which is something that Chris
right.
didn't have.
Speed
until
6
this
and
point.
jump, because that's Yeah.
So
Fair.
he has a harpoon, which is drag. Now, I have a little bit of complaint with the drag
Range
thing.
6 harpoon. So think about that. Speed 6,
Jump
5-inch jump,
another 6.
another 6.
That's a 17-inch threat range, which is nice.
And he can drag small base models.
Dark small base models. Now,
So,
if
like
it's a
Warcasters.
yes, if it's a journeyman
Like your Warcasters.
journeyman casters, he's a journeyman caster assassinator. But if the only thing that sucks is like he'll never pull a troll caster to him. He'll never be able to pull like if he grabs an
Look at that.
infantry.
Your whole
if
faction
he-
has built-in tech against this guy.
Yeah, if he grabs an infantry model, it's probably going to kill him anyway when it hits. So it's kind of
Don't kill, roll low. All right, I rolled low.
I think he really is going to be specifically against casters. That's really what it's going to be.
I think
about.
that's if you're going to have him do the move, jump, drag. That's what you're aiming
That's,
for. You're aiming
that's the
for a
only
small
turn
base
he's going
caster.
to do
Yeah.
anything, though. I
Yes.
mean, 14, 14. Yes, he has
I love the
stealth, but once he
tech.
gets there,
Well, yeah, move up
He's-
11
he's
inches,
dead.
you're dead.
Well,
yeah, this
a couple
guy's
things.
gonna die.
Well, then we get into his spells. Now he's got escort, which as long as the jack is next to him, he gets +2.
Okay, so yeah, right. We were talking about this earlier, Jose. Crix is notorious for being slow, right?
Mhm.
So
Oh,
they
yeah,
totally
that's
needed to have
exactly
escort.
what they need. Yeah, they need
I mean,
escort.
imagine that speed 8 nightmare or death jack. Oh my
No,
gosh.
speed 9. What are they? Stalkers? Speed 9 stalkers, yo.
Or speed 8 seethers. That's 11-inch threat range going across the board.
I'm just terrified of the speed 9 stalkers because that's going to be terrible. Because
It'd
like
have to be-
they run out on a flank anyway, and
in
this
order
guy,
for you to retain the
they're like perfect for him.
escort bonus, it'd have to be
It'd have
a
to
stalker or a bellin jack to keep up with his move 6,
Yeah.
jump
Right,
5.
because he can
Well, as
give
long
that
as they're in
bonus
his-
to a stalker
Yes.
that's 16 inches away.
Yes.
That's really good.
It's going to be tricky playing him. I don't think it's going to be quite as, I'm going to pull the table, I'm going to win. It's another tartar. It's not going to be quite like that. It'll be interesting to play with his jacks because, yes, he's going to have to keep them somewhat close by. Like, he's not going to be able to he's got to find some way to get them up faster because once he jumps out of the range, his jack is no longer in his control range to get the
why
bonus
didn't
for
you
I honestly,
Pathfinder.
nice. Because he has jump.
We have jump. Pathfinder.
I honestly think though that he can run almost anything that Crix has really well.
Yes.
And I think this drag thing of his is really nice. Like if you really want to go pick out something like somebody's journeyman warcaster or better yet their actual warcaster, like and he gets that drag off, then his jack is going to come up there and beat the living crap out of it.
What's the speed on the death jack? 6?
6. Now the only thing you can do is if you have the jack not next to him or behind him, but if you have them in front, then when he jumps, they'll still be in his control range. They can start to get the +2-inch movement. So, but yes, you're talking about like a nightmare. A nightmare with him is literally a nightmare.
13-inch threat range on a nightmare, yo. 11-inch charge at 2-inch reach. God, that's terrible.
Yeah, 13 inches is pretty disgusting.
Oh, you know what else is really cool? You could potentially build, and I'm not sure how competitive this would actually be, but Crix now has access to a strangely large number of things with drag.
Yes.
They've got their ogre bordering parties. They've got a couple of different. They got a character warjack and a non-character warjack with drags, and they've got this guy now. You could totally build an entire list that is just like, I'm just gonna drag crap.
I have created a list already. I'm good with it.
And I think that the perfect person to go with this would be the new caster, new Sturgis. We'll get into that later, but
Yeah.
I think that'd be an absolutely hilarious list of just like, you're coming closer to me. I don't give a shit.
Whatever I have to do.
Either
You're
I'm
getting
gonna
over
eat
here.
you, or you're gonna come over here.
Oh,
One way or
don't
the-
be
this
so
is happening.
shy.
You
Come
just better
on.
accept
Come closer. Yeah, don't be so shy.
No, just take it. Just accept it. Just accept it.
Yeah. So,
Oh, well, let's talk about the other spell.
he's looking at their spells. Deathbringers, which is 2, and it's a self-control area. It's not an upkeep spell, but it says while within this model's control area, the melee weapons of models in this model's battle group gain grievous wounds. So now you got Nightmare with grievous wounds
Right, yeah.
at a 13-inch threat range.
Again, Jose, that's the thing that I feel that Crix was lacking, right? Ways to get around your ability to heal.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, that's,
Actually, Nightmare has a 15-inch threat range if he starts within 10 inches
Nightmare
of his,
get 3
why do
focus?
Crix get so much love all the time?
So he's only getting 2.
Cool.
And he has to
Right.
spend 1
So
focus.
Crix may have not gotten a release in
Does
a
the
year, but then they get this bastard.
Stalker
More than makes
already
up
have
for it.
grievous
More than
wounds.
makes up for it. This
Yeah.
guy's insane.
Yeah, the Stalker already has grievous wounds, so it wouldn't
Well, right.
happen
Yeah,
that much,
this
but-
this is a little wasted on the Stalker. Stalker's still really good with him though. You could take like the flying chicken and give it grievous wounds. That'd be kind of scary.
Ooh,
Also,
that-
with his ability, if something's damaged, so he
Yeah, it gets
harpoons
extra
something.
extra dice for damage. Yeah.
I think I take Ripjaw, right?
Ripjaw would be a good one too.
For the
yeah.
armor piercing.
Oh man. Oh wait.
Wait.
Okay, just imagine the kind of fun that you can engineer with this guy if you've got like hell divers getting
Anchor
ready
one.
to set
Ooh,
up
anchor one.
stuff before you go and try to drag it, right? Slam somebody's caster with a hell diver. Then you drag it.
Canker worm
Which
be good
one's the
too.
one with the
Armor
long
piercing,
leash?
grievous wounds.
Oh yeah, there you go. Armor piercing, grievous wounds, cankerworm. Ugh.
Doesn't Crix have a long leash, Jack?
Yeah, the stalker.
Stalker.
Yeah, that is stalker. Yeah.
Yeah, speed 9, 16-inch control range on this guy. So gross.
With actually, yeah. What's their base speed?
The speed 7.
Their speed 7. Yes. Speed 9. That's.
This guy is amazing.
He'll be okay.
As bullshit as I think he is, I still think he's a good thing because we'll now see Crix actually running some jacks. Although I also fear that we'll just see this guy a lot as a super solo because he's actually just pretty solid that way too.
You're running Oikos yogurt today? I think
Oh my god, no, we're not starting that. That is not going to become this guy's nickname. All right, no, we're moving on.
All right, so I'd also like to point out
We're
he's
moving
got, magical weapon on both the harpoon and his melee weapon.
I just noticed that.
which
Yeah,
is-
you're
is
right.
really nice.
So once again, Crix gets the best thing.
We don't know what it's like to have good things.
That's good.
Retribution one in the.
Stop complaining. You guys are complaining too much. No,
okay.
I honestly think this guy is going to be really hard to run. 14-14 on something is not going to keep him alive, and he has to spend a lot of focus to do anything. He
Well,
has
that's
to
what we're
boost
saying,
his
take
rat to hit.
Well, he's probably not going to
Yes,
power.
upkeep,
He's probably not going to
escort.
power a jack on the turn that he goes in to drag somebody necessarily.
Yeah.
Right, but that's why some of the more focus efficient, like if you bring like a Seether with him, right, and that's the thing that comes along with him on the turn he goes to drag
See,
somebody.
that would help.
Yeah, because it's pretty focus efficient by itself. So, all right, anyway, so we got to move on. We got to catch other things here.
Yeah. So anyway, we're gonna move on to Ilara, Tyro of the Third Chamber, the Retribution.
Not the
So-
first chamber, mind you, or the second.
The third
And the
chamber.
fourth one's just way too far.
Also, real quick before we move on, real quick, I want to see. Can somebody type in the chat? Because I know our last episode the chat broke and we weren't able to chat. I want to make sure people can chat now.
sure we had-
Okay.
Yeah, we're
awesome.
okay, we're still good.
Okay. Good. We're still good.
So this, I want to state for the record, I think she's good, but this journeyman spawned the most hilarious wine fest on the Ret forums just over the past couple
The
weeks.
retribution
There
players
was
were whining?
Yeah, really, it's surprising. No, it was the whole post
More
was
than
like
the troll players?
yes, amazingly, the whole post was like, I feel like she's missing a rule, and it was just like page after page of whining, and they had to lock the post. It was terrible.
I just want to say, to be fair, I've never heard Jason ever complain about the troll ever. So he runs them really good too. So I don't think he has anything to complain about.
Okay,
It's dumb.
so let's talk about Ilara Tyro, the third chamber. So she got Mat 6, Speed 6, 15-14 defensive stats, which is okay. She's not terribly tough though, so you got to kind of be careful with her. She has 2 weapons, but neither one of them has reach, and they're both power 10. So, but they all are both magical, which is kind of nice. It never hurts to have more magical weapons.
Yeah, she's got-
especially in Retribution, because they know that they build some lists that kind of struggle with dealing with incorporeal things.
It's nice that she has sidestep, which is cool.
Sidestep is always cool. Anybody who bitches about sidestep is kind of dumb, and sidestep is always a good rule. And trust me, I have played Grail enough times to know that sidestep will let you do lots of wonky, janky shit.
And then you got her abilities with her blades, which has extraction, which says that when a living model is destroyed by that attack, it can allocate 1 focus point to the ward jack in its battle group.
I feel like this is sort of a trap. Like, it seems like she wants to get up into the fight and start killing stuff. But remember, she has sidestep, which can help her move around a little bit, but she doesn't have sprint, so she can't necessarily get away. So she may be able to go up on a turn and use extraction to good effect and allocate a bunch of focus to whatever jack or jacks she brings, but that's the last turn she's going to have. She's going to die right after that.
Yeah. So the
I don't know enough about Ret Jacks in order to. I mean, she could charge up, sidestep. I don't think sidestep. I mean, sidestep's just gonna. Hey, I'm 2 inches away, so now you can get a charge off on me in the next turn instead of just 2 dice.
Well, I
instead of 3.
don't think that the sidestep's meant to defend her against retaliation. I think the sidestep is meant to help her dig deeper into whatever unit she's after, so she can give out more focus. I really do kind of feel that she's designed so that when you want to use this, you just have a big turn where you allocate out your full 6 to the 2 jacks you bring with you, and and then after that you die.
If you could buff her mat or drop the defense or whatever you're going after, she could. I mean, you're talking like she can buy 4 more attacks. That's 6 attacks. She could get really far into the enemy line if she wanted
She
to.
could potentially get quite far in there.
Which is kind of neat.
Now, of course, she can only sidestep on the initials, but still.
Oh, is it the initials? Oh, okay.
But still, I think she can work out fairly well. And
Oh, initial
Retribution,
melee,
Retribution
okay.
has some things that can give her that'll help. So her 2 spells. We'll start
I
with.
disagree.
Huh? All right, whatever. You disagree. You're allowed. We're gonna move on now. So she's got her 2 spells. The one that everyone hates, Convection.
I had it in Minoth and I hated Convection.
All right, Jose, are you gonna bitch about Convection? Because I know everyone else wants to.
Yeah, I agree. That's kind of a
I-
especially that's a spell with a 4 focus caster.
A 4 focus caster,
You're
exactly.
Just like
You're gonna spend.
Well, I just would. Why didn't I just put 2 focus on my jack in the first place?
Well, hold on. It's even worse than that because she's a 4 focus caster. So to hit most things, she's gonna have to boost.
Boost, that's 3
and it's a
focus
power
on.
12 spell. So unless she's like targeting something that's pretty weak anyway, she's gonna have to boost damage to kill it.
Well, it says a living model, so if it's going to be a living, it's probably going to be an infantry model if she hits it anyway.
I suppose that's true. So but she can only shoot like weaker infantry models. If she's going after multi-wind infantry models, she's gonna have to boost. So you're spending 3 to 4 focus to allocate 1 focus.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
That spell does not feel very good.
Yeah.
And plus, if she's within 10 inches of things, that's not a place she wants to be. She does not have the defensive stats to live within 10 inches of the enemy.
Going on to the next spell, the battle charge.
Now that's a good one.
But the only thing, like, if she had access to like Signar's, what was it, the Hammersmith,
Mhm.
Oh, yeah.
where it has Tremor or Quake on its weapon.
Is that the?
So-
or is that
No,
that's-
that's the Hammersmith with
Oh, yeah,
quick on the
okay.
weapon.
I was-
The,
I'm thinking
where it
of,
knocks down
Oh, Rowdy.
Mhm.
everything
Yeah.
within 2
Yeah.
inches. So
Full Rowdy has
countercharge,
Okay.
countercharge
Because he's a
can save her.
Hammersmith.
Yeah.
Man, with this spell, she could have been a convergence caster.
Right.
Okay, so I think she's...
Can counter slam.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
counterattack.
They don't have a jack like
Counter-
that.
Battle charge is good.
But Battle Charge is still good. And I think, like, if you take her with something like Griffins, I feel like Griffins are kind of just made for her, right? You take her with a couple of Griffins, and you kind of create this nice zone of denial around her, because she and the 2 Griffins can start charging anything that walks in there, and you don't want to get charged by a Griffin, because that's just going to ruin whatever plan you're trying to execute.
I think an epic Mort Nebra needs to have battle charge.
Shut up.
All her decks is covered.
But I mean, the thing is, she's not as obviously good as the other Journeyman Warcasters, I feel, and there's been a whole lot of talk about, oh, there's probably going to be something else that really turns her on. And I don't necessarily feel that that's true, because this isn't part of the official Vengeance release. This is just released for the game.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that she's just going to be what she is. I think she's more a finesse piece than she is just a brute force piece. And I really do think that using the battle charged as sort of zone denial, or the ability to threaten to interrupt whatever your enemy's trying to do, I think is the right way to use her.
Yeah.
That's my personal opinion, and I think she's good, and she's the one that I'm getting.
She's not the
Minoth,
worst.
Cawdor, and Ret all got offensive spellcasters. Everybody else did not get an offensive spell.
Oh, that's true.
No, so-
Gaston and Iacos don't have offensive spells.
Oikos.
Oikos, right. Actually, I think
it's going to be all over the forums.
Jose likes playing against Crix everyone, so when he comes
Well,
to Gen
you know
Con,
what?
make sure all you Crix players take on Jose.
we've mentioned Gaston, and it kind of reminds me of that song, from Beauty and the Beast, right? No one can slice Gaston.
Everybody was
Fights
joking.
like Gaston.
Everyone was joking about that on the post, too. No one can march
Okay,
okay,
hold on.
like Gaston.
Right. I feel that something very important needs to be said about this guy, even before we get into his base stats. They decided in Privateer Press's Infinite Wisdom, they decided that since Sprint is so amazing, that it needs to have a ranged version, and thus Gaston.
I love
Because
this
you
guy.
know what is amazing? When your ranged jacks walk up, shoot things, and then walk back.
I would argue this guy could be the best Journeyman Warcaster. I love the stuff that he does and the stuff that he has. I would love to have this guy.
He's pretty solid. Mat 5, Rat 5.
Yeah.
But Rat 5 hand cannon, magical weapon.
Rate
called
of
the
Fire
Gypsy-
2.
Rate of Fire 2.
Oh god.
It's called the Gypsy Kiss, people. That's an awesome name.
Yeah.
He's just going to give you the kiss of death, and it's going to be amazing.
But he's got the same stats as the Crix guy, so if my guy's squishy, so's yours.
Yeah, but my guy doesn't want to get into the fight.
Yeah.
This guy, though, his ranged weapon is good. I think Merc players could take this, or anybody could take this guy just for the hand cannon. Rate of Fire 2 hand
Defense
cannon
14
is
is
really good.
still decent.
Still decent.
He's got
It's not, I mean, it's not great. I mean, it's not defense 7, obviously not defense 7, but I mean, defense 14 is still solid. I
Yeah,
mean,
5s
most
and
things are at a
6s
max
are-
7
He's
at the
defense-
higher, and that's
he's
average
defense
dice.
14.
He's getting average dice every single time.
He's defense 14 and he has dodge.
Yeah,
and you
dodge
can take
is
him,
cool.
and you can take him in both Menoth and Signar, and both of those factions have ways to buff his defense further, making dodge better.
yes, and the I know people were joking on the forums about taking the Galleon in a Signar or
All right,
Yeah.
or
everyone on the
Menoth
forums,
list too,
I
which is
beg
funny.
you, please, dear God, put your galleon on this bastard. I play Circle, I will hunt that bastard to the ends of the earth and murder him, and there's nothing you can do about it. And with the Terran de la Revisi change, don't ever take this guy with a galleon against somebody who's running her, because you'll hide him behind your galleon, and they'll just shadow fire him and murder you anyways. So.
Yeah, so I mean, it's not likely to happen, but it's funny that it could happen.
I think it's a terrible idea. I really
I would
do.
run it. I would actually run it with the Vanguard. I think it would be cool to run.
Well,
you know, again with the high
this-
reclaimer
this is
list,
something
with a
they
high
need more
reclaimer,
of.
Like it would be really great for
This
protecting.
scavenger thing, this is something that they need more of. Like more full warlocks, more journeymen, or more full warcasters and more journeyman warcasters need to have this for different types of jacks. Like this, I think this is a way that they can start making people take the jacks that don't get taken very often.
Yeah, that's true.
I want to run them with two jacks. One a Vanguard to help keep them alive, and it's cheaper, and then another one maybe a Mariner. Mariner could keep
Yeah,
him from
Mariner
being
was great.
knocked down with lash.
Ooh,
Uh,
yeah.
He's got
Can
flank.
it be knocked down and the shield guard? Ooh,
He's
yeah,
got-
that makes this guy really fast.
He's also got flank with Warjacks too, which is pretty neat.
You want to run this guy into melee and have him
At a
flank?
PNS 8.
Well,
You really want to do that?
well, he's
Well,
got
you
two
get a weapon
attacks.
master.
He's got two.
Oh, yeah.
It makes him a weapon master, and he's got focus. Yeah, but I don't think that. I think that it's flanking with a warjack.
It's
It's
a
kind of
neat
a last
ability.
It's a finishing move.
It's a last-ditched effort. Yeah.
Well, look,
I don't finish him.
With the Crix guy, but here's the thing though, with the Crix guy, he has to drag something to it, and then the Jacks come in afterwards. This guy, he goes in first, and then the Jacks come in, and that's
Also, if I'm not worried about knockdown, the Mule is, with his spell list, the Mule is awesome.
Also pretty good. Yeah. So his spell
Jack's
list
coming
is actually
first.
really solid. Like I said, he has the ability. He has the spell Moving Shadows, which is literally sprint for ranged attacks. If you kill something with a ranged attack, you get to advance again. That's amazing. And then the other one he's got, also really good for ranged attacks, Fire Group, which
Plus 2 to
adds
range.
+2 to range to the models in his battle group, right? Is it all of them?
And that would be him as
Yep.
well.
And
Making
to him
a
as well.
range
He's
14.
range 14 hand cannon.
Yeah.
Rate of fire
With
too.
6-inch
That's
movement,
like-
20-inch threat range.
So
boost to hit,
Gaston moves up, shoots somebody with a hand cannon, kills it. The Mule moves up, not during his activation, sacrifices his movement to get the +4 range, and then the Fire Group makes it a range 14 AoE 4 crit dev.
Yeah, it's a Crix.
Yeah, I'm under personal debate on whether or not I'm going to take, if I'm going to get Initiate, if I'm going to get Tristan, or if I'm going to get Gaston.
Gaston!
okay.
No
Well,
one fights like Gaston, yeah?
we got to keep moving here because we're getting a
No one
little late
fights
to our
like
game.
Gaston.
But yeah, so then we got Sturgis. Man, there's a lot to talk about here.
Use antlers and decorating. Sorry, I'm going to be singing that now.
Man, we
The
got-
sad part is we all know
Commander,
this.
Commander Dallin Sturgis. I congratulate you, Privateer Press. Nothing that you have come out with thus far has made me ever want to play Signar as much as this guy.
Yeah, he's got.
I almost want to buy into the faction just because this guy's amazing. Not that he's broken or anything, he just would be just a ton of fun to play.
For a caster, I think he's pretty solid. I mean, his Mat Rat defense and armor are all pretty standard. I think for decent casters.
Right, Mat 7. Rat 5 with a hand cannon is decent. It never hurts to have a hand cannon, always good.
Yeah, decent defense 16, armor 15. His focus is 6.
Right, so he can camp up to 21, potentially.
Yeah.
Oh, except that, of course, he has Arcane Shield, so if he really wants to camp hard, he can get up to, what, 23 then?
Yeah. And he's got convection, which is says when
Ooh.
convection destroys a living model, allocate one focus. So it's the same thing as the
You know how every book they hand out one spell like candy? I kind of feel like this game, like everything that comes out in relation to the game is just going to get convection.
Yeah.
Like, hey, this spell's amazing!
Now he's got snipe,
Please,
which is
right.
something that Signar really needed was more snipe. So
Yeah, right? Well, he's got basically, like, he's got all, I find this really funny, he has, like, all of the signature Signar spells. He has Arcane Shield, Snipe, teleport,
Lightning Storm.
and lightning storm. Right? He is Signar to a T.
Yeah. Which is why it makes his conversion over to Crick so betrayal.
Well, if you read the little fluff, like he's like one of the most dedicated Signar casters ever.
Yeah, it makes you wonder what happened. It's like he
got-
Darth Vadered out, man.
He got killed.
Well, between his feet and his special abilities,
No,
he's got
he
movement
sa- he
shenanigans
sacrificed
up the
himself.
wazoo.
Yes.
He
Oh.
donates himself to the Dragon Father. He gives himself over.
Okay, so
He is Darth Vader, baby.
he Darth Vader's. Well, he's actually like Darth Maul, really. You know, he's the
I
double-sided weapon and all.
What?
Corey just, I think that was Corey or Brad.
What?
I'm not sure. Somebody just brought up the point of going back to Tristan. I have Minoff for Piece of Aries will affect his 4 focus, make him a 5 focus, essentially.
Oh, son of a...
We don't need to give
Suddenly-
Jason any more ideas.
Suddenly immolation's not looking so bad, is it?
Wait. That's nice and all, but coming from someone who played the high reclaimer a lot, you're still boosting on 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, still, but that's, I didn't even think about that one.
All right, that was kind of funny.
Okay, so let's keep moving here.
Okay, so
Oh, Jeff from St. Louis, sorry.
so he has a basically 2 melee weapons, but it's basically just 2 sides of the same weapon. And he has got the really cool rule where every time he buys an attack, an extra attack, he gets to make 1 attack with each weapon. So the whole point being that he just hits people with both sides again. It's a little different. It's a little differently worded than the existing rule because the existing rule for that is on casters that have just 2 of the same weapon. So they had to make sure that he attacked with both weapons. And the reason they do that is because each weapon has a different effect. The first one, the left side, has feedback. So you hit somebody's warjack and you do a damage point to their caster.
Yep.
Always fun. And the second side has Electroleap. Oh,
Yeah.
Electroleap.
'Cause that's kind of annoying.
I love you. It's so good.
And it's reach.
And it's reach.
Have you been on the receiving end of Electroleap yet?
Yes, of course I have.
Don't you just love it?
Okay, so his feat, which I thought was cool, is actually the same for both versions of Sturgis, which is Dead on Arrival.
So he drags everybody. in
Everything is control area. Push 3 inches directly towards
Except,
Sturgis.
oddly, Warcasters and Warlocks. That's really weird. I don't really understand that one. But
Oh,
yes, he
I didn't
drags...
even realize that, yeah.
Yeah, he drags everything that's not a Warcaster or Warlock 3 inches toward him, and any models that end up within 3 inches of him at the end suffer
Or
Power
Power
12.
12.
If that kills them, then he gets to allocate a focus
To his jacks,
to
yeah.
one of his jacks.
Pretty cool.
This is amazing in Signar because Signar has covering fire out the ass. And when you get dragged into covering fire by this, you take the damage. So it's actually really funny. He can just mulch through even multi-wound infantry pretty hard because if he puts down covering fire and things end up within 3 inches of him, then they take the covering fire damage and his feet damage. And just kind of explode.
So, okay, so let's move on to his corrupted version.
Oh, wait, hold on. There was one more
what?
thing we needed to note here.
Oh, what's that?
He has a combo strike.
Oh, that's right. When he
A chain attack, rather. He has a chain attack. If he hits, it's chain attack flash. If he hits with both weapons, then he gets to immediately place himself completely within 3 inches.
that's
So
pretty
it's
cool.
like a crazy sidestep.
So yeah, it's like a really crazy sidestep. He just hits things and he jumps around. And given that he also has Electroleap, if he really wants to, he's going to murder all of your infantry dead, and then he's going to teleport away. All right, moving on.
I'm so glad they nerfed Gatsby.
Well,
His
really
Crick's
quick,
version
he
is
also
just-
has Relentless Charge, which is awesome.
Oh, yes,
Once they get
Relentless
them-
Charge.
And Reversal. So if someone charges him and they miss, they're knocked down.
And defense 16 is not a bad place to
And
start for
Snap
that.
Strike.
Yeah.
And he's got the additional attack.
Right, the additional
Yeah,
two.
and the undead version has all that too, except for the only difference is that his chain attack gives him Dark Shroud instead of teleporting around.
Oh,
weird.
I love that. I love that he gets Dark Shroud, but only after he's attacked you twice. It's like, I'm going to hit you twice, and then your armor's going to go down.
Yeah,
by two.
that's where I think the teleport and the feed are going to kind of come in, and after you hit
I do
something
think,
twice,
though,
and then
so a lot of people have made comments that this guy is just straight up not as good as the Signar version. But I think that what a lot of people forget is that while his card may not necessarily appear to be as good as the Signar version, he is in Crix now.
yeah.
And that makes
Although
him good.
with this now, Crix gets convection. Yes,
Yay.
finally.
No thanks.
Anyway, whatever.
Brat.
Oh wait, hold on. So
Why didn't I just allocate this focus?
Okay, another cool thing to note about this guy is he is also Crix to a T on his spell list.
Yes.
He has Blood Rain,
Yep.
Occultation,
Occultation,
Parasite, and Teleport. All spells that Crix already has. And another really
Dark
awesome...
Shroud with Parasite.
Another really
Oh,
awesome
God.
design choice I think they made here, and I just love this. So, Convection stayed the same, Teleport stayed the same, but Arcane Shield, that became Parasite. Right? That seems really good. Lightning Storm, that becomes Blood Rain. And Snipe, that becomes Occultation. It's
Ooh.
just, it's so perfect. I just love that they did that. They're just like, all of his moves just inverted.
Man, if you could throw a snipe on a harrower, that would have been awesome.
His weapon effect.
No, they're never
No
giving.
shot,
They're never
14
giving you
inches.
Snipe. Just get over it. That ain't happening. You're not putting. You're
Chris
not
doesn't
putting
have a
your
lot of
Snipe on
ton
your
of
ghost shots.
shooty. I mean, we got some shooty stuff. I mean, it'd be cool with like the Oregon party and get like a 12-inch drag.
Minoff
for
players
gold.
never thought they'd get stealth. They got Thyra.
Oh, I guess that happens. Yeah.
So yeah, whatever.
All right, so more Parasite. Definitely what you needed. Okay, his weapons this time, the things that they do is one side does Soul Eater, which he just kills a model, he gets a Fury, or
A soul.
he gets a Soul, which can
Yeah.
turn into a Focus.
That's only on his left side though, which is kind of weird. Usually it's like as long as you're within 2 inches, you get it. He just gets it.
Yeah,
and kills with the
I
left.
know a lot of people have been wishing for this for the just
I'm
the
going to
Soul
kill all
cage.
these guys over here with the left side.
And then he's got Death Strike, which in some ways is a little less awesome than Chain or than what is it? Yeah,
Electroleaf.
Electroleaf. But it can be nice sometimes because sometimes you're not close enough to the thing that you actually really want to kill, so you can just pick out the thing that needs to die.
Well, combine Soul
Yeah,
Eater
but-
with Snap Strike.
Yeah.
If you're killing a
Yes,
small base
he can
model.
potentially get quite a lot of souls that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, but, I mean, if you look at it, I mean...
But of course, they don't help
essentially,
him that turn at all,
if
really.
you kill a small base model, unless it's got like a really high strength, like you're hitting it with what?
Yeah.
Power.
That's the bad side about it. So I think that
think it'll
Electroleaf
be
is
better.
generally better. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, but the other thing too is if he
If
does
he,
manage
like,
to get his
base
Dark
6
Shroud and Parasite
plus
off on
strength?
something, he becomes power and strength of 18.
Yes.
He's hitting as hard as Terminus.
Right, and he's 6 focus. So like say you really want some big nasty jack dead. You have a Scarlock Thrall walk up and parasite it.
Yeah, you don't have to spend the...
Then you don't have to spend any focus on it. Then you charge it, and he's got relentless charge. That helps. And of course, regen his weapons. He gets up there, he hits it twice, and gets the Dark Shroud. Now he's essentially a power and strength 18 against that thing, and every time that he spends one of his focus,
He gets
and,
2
and he can
attacks.
potentially have 6 focus at that point, he gets 2 more attacks. This man can get it done.
Yeah.
Oh,
He
yeah.
will
I'm
pick out
so looking
things
forward to
and
this
murder
bastard.
stuff.
I'm so looking forward to this.
But there's another really fun thing I think that's kind of cool to note in here is he can actually have a really big turn for his jacks with his
Yep.
feet and parasite. So you can parasite, say, like a bunch of like an infantry unit that you want to get close to. You can have him move up. You can have him feet, drag all that crap in, kill a bunch of it, clearing out a big space and generating a bunch of focus to give to your jacks. And then he teleports away, and now there's a big hole in the middle of the field where your jacks can charge
run
through.
in and get- Yeah.
Oh, and he's got occultation to keep important jacks safe. No, I think this guy he can run. I think he can also run jacks in crits fairly well.
Yeah, that's
maybe
good.
maybe not quite Morton Ever level, but I think he can do it.
Yeah. So, we definitely need to start getting into the game because we've got, like I said,
We've probably
getting
really
into our
gone really
time.
long, right?
Yeah, we have, unfortunately. But so we appreciate you guys sticking with us this long before we get to the game. Before we do that, too, we need to do the model of the week. Gentlemen, I want to say his name's Steve. I apologize. I already. When I sent him his dice and we were contacting him online, I know he's in Canada. He wanted to, he'd submitted this awesome model, and I remember I was typing to him, and it's a Kraken, and this thing is awesome. I know it always seems like I pick Crix and Legion models, but this thing is so cool looking. It's got kind of the slimy base, and he's killing a guy on the hill there. He's so neat looking. That is so well done.
outrageously cool, actually.
This is probably one of the best models we've got submitted to us. So
one of the best. No, this is straight up the best model.
I know that Archangel's cool too, but this one's really good. So, but anyway, so we'll say congratulations. Your dice are in the mail. Heck, he may have already got his dice by now, but yeah, fantastic job. And hopefully, yeah, you can submit more items to us too. Those things look pretty good. I'm sure you do really well on the rest of your models too. So congratulations. Yay! All right, so now we're going to get to our game, which you guys are here to see, which is going to be Jeremy versus Jose. Jose's going to try and put the hurting on Jeremy.
Yeah, I'm gonna get ghetto stomped by Epic Morvana. It's gonna be fun.
The last game I played with Epic Morvana, I didn't actually have the Scales of Fate at all, and I still won.
So something to look forward to. So, all right, let's get to it, and let's rock and roll.